Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thanks for joining this webinar today. My name is Diana Hurst, and I am with CRM Science. Thank you for joining on time. We are going to give it another minute or so while people are still joining. So thank you for your patience. We'll be right back. All right, let's get started. Thank you all for joining today's webinar. This is How to Personalize Client Onboarding and Discovery with Financial Services Cloud. My name is Diana Hurst, Director of Marketing at CRM Science, and we have a really exciting webinar for you today. But before we dive in, I'll give you a quick introduction of CRM Science. So next slide, please, Eric. So some of you may know we are a consulting firm. We implement and customize Salesforce for companies that either want to get started on the platform or are looking to optimize their use of the platform. And we're really an end-to-end Salesforce consulting firm. So what that means is that we work with Salesforce customers on strategy, architecture and development, and all the way through to user experience, data migrations, and third-party integrations as well. There are several industries that we specialize in. Financial services is one of them, which is, of course, today's topic of this webinar. And throughout the years, we've just gathered a really wonderful group of clients in the financial services sector that are really doing some great things on the platform using a host of Salesforce products, and Financial Services Cloud is one of them. Something we're incredibly proud of that I want to highlight on this slide is the fact that we are a three-time winner of the Partner Innovation Award. These are recognitions from Salesforce that are partners that have demonstrated excellence and value to Salesforce customers. And then one last thing I want to point out on this slide is that this year we achieved the 2019 Salesforce Lightning Master designation. And this is a Salesforce partner badge that so far has only been achieved by 10 consulting firms in the world, and CRM Science is one of them. Some housekeeping before we really dive in. So next slide, please. We are recording this webinar for you, so you will be receiving a replay as well as a copy of these slides after we end the webinar. And then if you have questions throughout the webinar for our speaker, type them into your into your Zoom control panel, and we will answer those at the end of the webinar. So stay tuned for the answers. And then I want to introduce you to today's speaker. Today's speaker is Eric Hermans, who is our in-house financial services strategist at CRM Science. Eric is one of the first Salesforce Financial Services Cloud accredited consultants, and he has a really long history in the financial services space, so he knows what he's talking about. He founded several companies, including a mortgage lending company, an insurance company, and a fintech company as well before he joined our team. And today, he helps our financial services clients become successful with the platform. So I am really excited that he's here with us and for this webinar today. Eric, welcome. Are you ready? Take it away. I think you're still on mute, by the way.
Hi, Diana. Thanks for the introduction. You know, I'm really fortunate to have had so many personal and professional experiences in my life. They range from being married, a father of two, and working for some really great companies. So in today's presentation, I'm going to draw on some of those experiences to make the case for using Financial Services Cloud to personalize onboarding and discovery. So a little bit about today's webinar. Today, I'm going to be telling you about why personalizing customer engagement is so important. I'm going to do my best to explain what personalized onboarding and discovery really is and why I think it's such a great place to start. I'll be touching on the approach and roadmap for how to do it with Financial Services Cloud in light of the broader fintech market. But before we get started with the slides, I'd like to establish some context for what personalization means to me. Onboarding clients is just like beginning any human relationship. It's what determines the ultimate outcomes. And when we get to know our clients and they get to know who we are, we both stand to benefit. So in human relationships, there's always a beginning, when it's first about getting to know who somebody is. The interactions and the information we learn about other people can make the difference between a rewarding relationship or a one-time conversation. No matter how much getting to know somebody promises to offer, if we don't understand them or we don't have the right approach, the chances of success diminish. So to me, personalizing is all about being human in client relationships. I'm going to go a little bit more detailed into why personalize and why this area is so important. But before we do that, we're going to take a little poll. So Diana, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, and let me launch it right now. Everyone on the call, take a moment to answer the poll that's currently popping up on your screen. We'll give it a few seconds for all of you to give an answer, and then we'll see the results shortly. Thank you. Going once, going twice. Almost everyone voted. That's good. All right. I'm going to end the poll, Eric, or we should actually all be able to see the results right now. Eric, we're not hearing you.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. So it looks like the majority of our clients or people on the webinar are using Financial Services Cloud already. And then some other people are reporting that they're using other Salesforce products. So I hope today I can confirm for those of you with FSC that you're in the right place. And then for those that have other Salesforce products, we'd love to continue the conversation and talk about Financial Services Cloud and show you more about what it does today. So let's move on with the next slide. Okay, so personalizing is all about cultivating deeper client relationships. When it's done well, it welcomes people and it makes them feel at home, just like being part of a family. When personalizing is done well, it uses a discovery map to map out the relationship possibilities. Each layer of information that you learn about your clients reveals where to learn more and where to focus additional attention or activities. It lets customers feel like they're really understood. It should also enable customers to keep getting to know you better. It's got to span across teams. And when we get all that right, it unlocks the relationship rewards. So the outcome of personalization is really about partnership rewards. Just like in regular relationships, people begin them because they offer us different things in return. The same is true when people start relationships with a company. Some of the things that they're looking for are known and pursued from the onset, and others are unexpectedly discovered as that relationship continues. People most often begin with simple motives in mind, like getting the benefits from a product or service. But when a company's approach is on target and that relationship develops, the client and the company both discover that there's much, much more. When I think about that from a company's perspective, what do they stand to gain from a deeper relationship with the client? Well, things like loyalty, increased customer lifetime value, better alignment of company resources, bigger market share, or greater profits are just a couple. Customers stand to gain from that deeper relationship as well. Those benefits depend on whether you're in wealth advisory, banking, or insurance. But with wealth advisory, kind of knowing that you're taking care of your financial affairs, that you've got somebody that really understands what you need to be doing, what keeps you up at night, or what your goals are, really helps surface much more opportunity. Heather is a wealth advisor and does a really great job listening to her clients. She uses Salesforce to capture the information from every interaction. She also uses Salesforce to understand or surface insights from the information that she's gathered so that she can personalize her approach and make it different based on every customer's needs. By doing this, the customers get C rewards. They're like member benefits or partnership benefits, the things the clients get out of the relationship. While most new clients come to Heather with a specific goal or need in mind, the deeper, more personalized relationship surfaces other hopes, dreams, and needs. And Heather can use that information to target services and help them achieve their ambition. From the client's perspective, the relationship with Heather unlocks rewards like peace of mind. While Heather stays focused on servicing client relationship needs, she also discovers unexpected rewards from a good relationship. Things like referrals to friends or family members, or additional account openings are just a couple of the really easy examples to point out. So I talked a little bit about what personalizing is and why it's so important. Let's dig into what it really means in the context of onboarding and discovery, or what it really is. So to describe this, I'm going to give you an example from the human resource industry. The term onboarding first came into popular use in human resource departments. And at the onset, it just meant to effectively integrate new hires into the company. For most companies, it included things like getting important forms completed, teaching new software, getting policies acknowledged, hopefully not back to back and all on the same day. But in human resources, that process of onboarding has matured. Today, more progressive organizations use a discovery map to learn all about the person that they're hiring. They use it to personalize the onboarding experience and then to cultivate a deeper relationship with the people that work in their organization. Their approach feels much more casual. Things come at the times that they're needed. It includes reminders and activities, always pointing out the way to success. There's a process for collecting information and for always adding to the initial information that was gathered. It includes simple things like a new hire's interests, professional goals, or the options available to them for advancement. Then that map is used to do things like offer new hires an introduction to coworkers with the same interests, or maybe show a foodie an amazing local lunch spot. In today's financial services industry, the term onboarding describes the proactive measures taken to build more meaningful customer relationships. Onboarding encompasses discovery of clients and then using that information to personalize the future interactions. A relationship map is used to know what information to collect in the next meeting, and then what to do with that information once it is collected. Discovery is treated as a prerequisite to personalizing the engagement. And while that's true, at the same time, personalized engagement is the prerequisite for deeper discovery. Onboarding doesn't have to be complicated. It's about small, bite-sized interactions that are planned and done well. I think if you pay close attention, you'll see examples of personalization processes with different businesses all around you. Technology is making that much easier today. And in financial services, there's still a long way to go. So get to know your clients by asking more strategic questions up front. Approach discovery as though it's peeling off layers of an onion. Answers to simple open-ended questions can tell you where there's more to learn or where there's something that's not relevant to ask about. The technologies today help us organize and measure the information that's collected. Customizing the Salesforce data model allows you to do things like summarize what's already known, or know exactly what's complete and what's not, or what's still needed. A good onboarding process should also address reboarding clients. People and information change over time. So when customizing the Salesforce data model, use custom fields to enable you to know what's up to date and what needs to be reviewed or brought current again. So meet David. He's Heather's assistant in a wealth advisory firm. A little earlier in the presentation, I said personalized engagement requires cross-team functionality. Here's a really simple example. David supports Heather in the wealth advisory practice and often interacts with the same clients. He uses action plans in Salesforce to get new clients up and running quickly and make sure nobody on the team misses an important task. He's great at sparking up casual conversations with clients that reveal more about who they are and the things that are most important to them. He learns about simple things like the family's new dog and its birthday, or even the name of a restaurant their clients rave about. Heather's able to use that information to send a birthday dog bones or an anniversary date night gift certificate. The dog's birthday bones make a really big impression on the whole family. The kids know that Heather really cares about them all. Someday, when they're ready to start talking to a financial planner, she'll be the first place they go. In the next section of the presentation, I'm going to talk about how to take your discovery and onboarding to the next level using Salesforce. But before I do that, I want to get a quick conversation out of the way about how Salesforce is different from other fintechs. I think that understanding how Salesforce should fit into your overall technology footprint will help you mitigate a lot of project risk. A clear understanding is really important because it'll impact the approach that you want to take. So I have lots of conversations with CRM science clients about where Salesforce fits in light of all the different options in the market. And I've put a lot of thought into that. So to me, it's clearly different. Salesforce Financial Services Cloud is a framework. It's a platform. It's a jumpstart to building a highly fine-tuned sales and service business. It's completely customizable to serve the needs of any financial service provider. As a framework and a platform, Salesforce makes sure that it enables anything your organization needs to do today or in the future. For a lot of executives I talk to, they sometimes struggle with understanding all the implications of this because it's not like the traditional softwares they have experience with. Salesforce is not a franchise-like business in a box or specialized single utility solution that just needs a company name, logo, and a few settings before you're off to the races. The Salesforce platform is feature-packed with powerful enablements that you can build your entire business on the way that you want and be different from everybody else. Other systems expect users to be doing the same thing, the same way, for the same reasons. Salesforce recognizes that you need to be empowered to do it your way. Most other fintechs focus on a much smaller goal. Sometimes they appear to be innovating faster and offer functionality that seemed out of reach. But keep in mind, that pace of innovation is only true in the early stages. While you might want to incorporate some of those into your technology footprint, it's very clear Salesforce needs to be in the center of it all. Without Salesforce at the center, it's easy to get stuck with other systems' limitations and competitive moats that prevent or distract you from tapping into the best options. Just like any project, doing things in the right order will set you up for success. To implement personalized onboarding, this slide has a couple of suggestions about taking the right approach. The winning racehorse is well conditioned before the race ever starts. During the race, the jockey takes careful control of the pace. Getting what you want out of Salesforce is going to require the same kind of discipline. Start by preparing your teams for the initiative underway, and be sure to go slow in the beginning and set the pace for long-term improvements. Remove distractions to provide focus on the initiative. I use the word enablements a lot in my webinar, and for different people, it can mean different things. So when I say enablements, I'm using the term generically to represent anything that makes it possible for you to build out your customized customer engagement system. From Salesforce sales and service data models to financial services cloud package installs, specialized out-of-the-box financial services cloud features, app exchange products, settings, or even leveraging APIs in the ecosystem. If it's a building block, I think of it as an enablement. It's really key in your approach to understand all the options out there and select those key enablements that you're going to leverage. With the fintech industry changing so quickly, most likely you need to be on a 3 to 5 year roadmap with the items that you're going to use and select. I also suggest paying close attention to all the feature releases from Salesforce. They come out 3 times a year, winter, spring, and summer. And taking time to learn about what's new will help you just automatically find things where the lift is really small to make a big difference in your organization. Another step of preparing is establishing macro context within the entire organization. Everybody should be thinking about what needs to be done to cultivate deeper relationships with the client. What information is needed and what can you do with that information once you have it? Solving challenges from a client-centric perspective should always be first. Ask internal teams to think about what are the key client accomplishments and what do they gain from each aspect of the relationship. Where possible, put accomplishments into sequence. Be careful early on when you're talking to your teams. Don't promise specific features to internal users. Instead, talk about improvements to the focus area, personalized discovery and onboarding. It's a good idea to implement a release schedule, just like Salesforce does, with disciplined communications about features that are implemented and supporting the training that will be needed when they come out. Ask teams to think about and discuss how other organizations are personalizing engagement. Hospitality companies and human resource departments are experts at engageification. Talk about how to apply these principles in your business from a client-centric perspective, and you'll be off to the races. Just like any other project, you've got to remove the distractions. Clear the table before bringing out the dessert. Defer on other projects where possible. It's not the time to start marketing and bring in a million leads. Build the engine first. Get the start of the relationship right with your clients by attacking discovery and onboarding. When that piece is done right, the challenges downstream in the process get easier and easier to solve, and features are quicker and quicker to release. Having change management in place so that feature releases are easy to communicate and avoid technical debt where possible. One other suggestion, don't make decisions without really understanding the options within Salesforce first. A lot of times we see clients go outside of the Salesforce ecosystem for a solution, and a release comes out and the solution that's available in Salesforce is even better. Staying closely aligned with standard objects and fields will mean that you'll be able to benefit from new features 3 times a year that are out of the box and implementable almost overnight. Part of the right approach or the roadmap to building out engagement in onboarding and discovery is about picking the right enablements. In financial services, a couple of those that need careful attention would be the enabling person accounts. For most financial service organizations, they're doing business with individual consumers, and there's many advantages of supporting the B2C model with person accounts. There's also specialized FSC packages. So if you're in the insurance business or the mortgage business, you need to identify which packages you're going to leverage. And sometimes packages that were built for mortgage may offer really strong options for a wealth advisor. Other Salesforce clouds, like Communities, offer building out part of that 3 to 5 year roadmap. One thing that needs to be included in your enablements phase of building out onboarding and discovery is identifying where the source system financial account data will come from. Are you using connectors or apps from the App Exchange? Are there APIs that can be leveraged? Some of the App Exchange packages that we recommend taking a look at, whether you're in retail banking, wealth advisory, mortgage, insurance, DocuSign is a really fantastic option that lets you get forms out to clients, get them signed, and have them returned to you or forwarded on to a third-party custodian. eMoney has some really great tools for financial planners, or if you're in the insurance industry, take a look at Varuna, but figure out what enablements you need out of the gate. Okay. There's something in Salesforce's Winter 20 release for every company. Let's take a look at a few of my favorites. Salesforce Winter 20 release includes some really big out-of-the-box features. It's got new objects, it has community templates, and all kinds of other components. Insurance companies and mortgage lenders are already calling it a huge game changer. What felt out of reach is right in front of them now. Even if you're not in the mortgage or insurance business, all those innovations that we see there really have a big impact on you as well. Because in order for Salesforce to roll out those out-of-the-box feature functionalities, lots of things under the hood were updated and built to be better, and those can be leveraged by you. Today, we're going to take a look at a couple of those. The data model changes, the Lightning Scheduler, document tracking, and what I call insurance and mortgage innovations. So one of the big Winter 20 releases were new data models for the insurance industry. The objects drive all kinds of features that are incorporated into an updated communities template for an agent portal and a version 2 of the agent app. Remember Heather, the wealth advisor? Even though she's a wealth advisor, the new insurance objects could be used to help her personalize client engagement. Imagine that her clients want to review their insurance or get a quote to save money. Salesforce has already standardized an object model for capturing that information. On the mortgage side, new mortgage objects unlock visibility into the borrower information across lines of business by capturing the mortgage application. So whether you're in a specialized mortgage lending business or you're in a retail bank, this is a big game changer. You can take a uniform residential loan application that's MISMO compliant and leverage the information that's collected at time of mortgage application in other departments of the bank. In mortgage, there's now capability to guide borrowers and loan officers through the redesigned uniform residential loan application. There's also document tracking and approval. Simplified document collection and increased visibility into approval status for the documents collected. I said sometimes these objects can help you even if you're in an unrelated industry. So here are some examples of how mortgage objects and innovations could be leveraged by you. If you're in the wealth advisory, wouldn't it be great to import a uniform residential loan application from a mortgage referral partner? If you're in retail banking, couldn't you use the document tracking to gather documents needed to open up a new business money market? While document tracking represents an innovation for mortgage clients, it's available in the platform and could be used by anybody. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about document tracking because it deserves kind of some standalone attention. It's such a big deal. So the new document tracking with Winter release lets you streamline customer engagements by creating lists of what's needed and making the requests. It enables customers to upload files against a checklist and then to follow the status of the documents they provided. It also allows you behind the scenes to implement a review and approval process for all the documents that were received. Another big deal in Winter 20 that I'm encouraging everybody to take a look at because I think it really takes scheduling to the next level would be the Lightning Scheduler. So the Lightning Scheduler was updated to include all kinds of new things. One of my favorite is multi-resource scheduling. You can use work types to make sure that the right people are included in scheduled meetings. And this has relevance all over the place. If you're in a single point of contact retail banking scenario and you're meeting with a client, but you know they need a small business loan, you can make sure that you get your small business lender in there. If you're in the insurance industry and you need a specialist for trusts to participate in a client meeting, this is the feature that lets you make sure that the right people are there. Lightning Scheduler also does concurrent scheduling now. It allows an organization to block out a time slot for drop-in appointments and then control the traffic within those time frames. There's so many options here. When I was in the mortgage industry, we'd have people making appointments to stop by the office all the time. And when they stopped in, we needed somebody to take their documents, scan them, someone to quick review them, identify if there was a deficiency. So what this would have allowed us to do back then was kind of say that we can take 10 people within every 2-hour time block and control the traffic so that people are available to service the needs when they drop in. I know this is true in wealth advisory too, that there's lots of similar scenarios. Another feature in the scheduling manager now is time zone pickers, so that when you're talking to an internal client that you're setting up a meeting for, or you're talking to an external client, there's no more confusion with time zones. Just pick the time zone that you need to be talking about, and the system will guide you through setting up the meeting. Winter release enabled block time events so that meetings can be buffered for things like travel time. And what's really cool is those activities, those buffers can now be reported on separately from the meetings itself. That's a really big deal for organizations trying to track performance and push productivity. And I'll let you know that in the slide notes that you get, I included an outline with a lot more details and notes about these new features. I'm going to go back to David, Heather's wealth advisor assistant. It's a big deal for him because for scheduling meetings now, he can do things like make sure that Heather's included, make sure a trust specialist is included, send an email to the client, and let the client pick the right time for themselves. I hear from people that scheduling today in their organizations is still really difficult. A customer gives you some times that are good. By the time you contact 3 of the meeting participants to figure out when they're available, you're often calling back the same customers and trying to modify it, sometimes 4, 5, 6, 7 calls back and forth. Well, those are scenarios in the past. Salesforce lets you kind of bring that all together now. In the insurance innovations area, there's a community cloud for an agent's portal. Insurance carriers can use the pre-built template to offer their agents a responsive, feature-rich policy management portal. It lets agents get a 360-degree view of policyholders, and it's easy for agents to stay organized, deepen client relationships, and address their other needs. The templates consist of components and workflows to help insurance agents access their most important KPIs and metrics to manage their book of business. In the insurance section, there's also an Einstein Analytics app that was updated. So I'm referring to it as a version 2. The Einstein Analytics for insurance is super comprehensive. It offers descriptive, predictive analytics for strategic, operational, and tactical insights. It's embeddable, extendable, customizable. The app is just great. It supports different personas like an agent, an agent's manager, or the sales manager at a carrier. It has hundreds of 100 plus out-of-the-box metrics. Things like client profile, book of business, product penetration, white space analysis, policy renewal and cancellation analysis, leads and referral conversions, sales and pipeline performance. There's so much to offer there. And even if you're not in the insurance industry, I encourage you to take a look at it. It has use cases if you're a wholesale lender to see how you could bring a community agent portal together to streamline your business. Or if you're in the wealth advisory industry or banking, it gives you a really good idea on how all these different Salesforce enablements come together to build out a really amazing system. In summary, I hope that I did a good job kind of explaining why Personalize. It boosts customer loyalty, it increases lifetime value, and there's really big rewards for not just your organization, but clients as well when this personalized onboarding and discovery is done well. We talked about what is personalized onboarding, how it's peeling back the layers of the onion, asking the right questions. This is a big deal because many organizations are challenged serving people in different age groups. The seniors that may prefer a meeting with a wealth advisor and a comprehensive interview, or the millennial that just wants to provide the basic information to get an account opened. Taking an approach where you can peel back the layers of the onion based on the client's needs lets you accommodate to both segments at the same time. I hope that we did a good job explaining kind of how to get there with Financial Services Cloud. those key steps with preparing, removing distractions, and getting your enablements selected and out of the way up front. And then in terms of the Winter 20 release, there's much, much more. I only covered 4 here, but we could spend days looking at all the amazing enhancements. Okay, Diana, I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Eric. That was great. Thanks for sharing your insights with our audience today. Before we jump into Q&A, I am sure that many of you are aware that Dreamforce is happening next week. Next slide, please, Eric. There are several ways to connect with the CRM Science team if you're going to be at Dreamforce. So first of all, we are hosting a giant puzzle party on Tuesday, and I put the details here. This will be really fun. Think pinball machines, giant Jenga, giant cubes. We'll have lots of brain teasers, and of course there will be food and drinks as well. Then second, you can also schedule a meeting with our team. We actually have a pop-up headquarters right near the Moscone Center. So if you'd like to talk to us about Financial Services Cloud or Salesforce in general, I encourage you to reach out after the webinar, and I'll make sure to include a link here. And then lastly, we have a couple of people on our team who are presenting sessions at Dreamforce, and I listed them here. Again, I will add the links when I send this out to all of you after the webinar. But there are plenty of ways to connect with us, and we hope that we will see you next week in San Francisco. And then if you're not going to Dreamforce, there are still plenty of ways to reach out to us. Next slide, please. The easiest way to reach out is through our website, crmscience.com. You can use the live chat feature on our website or simply fill out the contact form to get in touch. And then I also wanted to share all of our social media handles so you're aware of those and you can follow us and also reach out to us there because we're active. All right, let's go to questions. Let's see what we have. So we have a question about action plans and what the latest is on that. Now, I know that we're almost at time, Eric, so maybe you can really briefly answer that question. So what's the latest on action plans? I think, yep.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yep. Sorry. So action plans are more tightly integrated with other components in Lightning now. So firing action plans from something like a life event or using workflows to automate is all within reach today. For those of you unfamiliar with action plans, you can create an action plan with up to 100 different tasks, identify how they should be assigned, what the timelines are, can help you with all kinds of things like compliance, or just making sure that you stay in touch with people and keep their discovery maps up to date.
Okay, great. And then we have one more question. What other features were included in Winter 20?
Okay, so Winter 20 had all kinds of things. Today I talked mostly about those in Financial Services Cloud, but there's a new Lightning extension in Chrome that I really love. We can enhance the user's experience with that extension. They can use dark mode, they can use a link grabber and see hidden components. Lightning now features the recycle bin. There's a quick undo in Lightning. There's all kinds of new operational analytics capabilities, row level formulas, unique row counts, field to field filtering is in beta now. And another big deal in Winter 20 is the all new mobile experience. It's here, came out October 14th, and it really converges the experience across all devices, minimizing training costs and giving users exactly what they need.
Lots of good stuff. Thank you for answering that. I don't see any more questions in the Q&A feature, so I think we're ready to wrap up. So with this, I want to thank everyone for joining today's webinar. Like I said, we'll make sure that you receive a link to the replay as well as the slides. So look out for that either later today or tomorrow. And yeah, again, thanks for being here. We hope to see you next week at Dreamforce. Let us know if you'll be there. And if not, we will see you on the next webinar. So thanks, everyone. Take care.